So you guys have seen what's going on from a consolidation perspective. I think that as you see more and more of the broadcast market and the supplier and the service provider market consolidate, it's going to force the equipment supplier market to figure out how we're going to participate in a smaller number of customers. You just look at the aggressive nature right now, at least in North America, that we're seeing with the traditional broadcast customers. It's certainly driving a different behavior. We saw this happen in the service provider market when you had, in literally a decade, you had thousands of competitive local exchange carriers delivering services to residential homes and businesses that over a decade to 15 years became 2 or 3 companies again. And I think that you're going to see a lot of that happen in this industry. I think that it won't be out of the realm of possibilities that the FCC in North America is going to change their guidelines to what percentage ownership a particular broadcast company can actually own. I think you're going to continue to see more of the traditional telcos buy into this market. And that whole landscape is going to cause a lot of the equipment suppliers to really scratch their heads and figure out, how do we participate in a pool of customers that are fewer and fewer. We're already seeing, if you look at, what Nexstar has done here in the last 18 months, I mean, they've gone on quite an acquisition binge. And, we used to sell to Lynn, we used to sell to Media General, and we sell to Nexstar, and now they're one company. And for us, that means that they're probably going to buy some percentage less because they got to get their synergies, and most of their synergies comes out of the optimization of their network and how they build their network. So it puts a lot of pressure on the equipment suppliers, and it's one of the reasons why we drove so fast to the network architecture that we did and tried to get to a software-defined world as fast as we could, knowing that we would be able to be a lot more agile and a lot more flexible in the way we moved as the industry moved. And certainly we've seen some consolidation on the equipment service supplier space, but I don't think we've even begun. I personally think over the next 18 to 24 months we're going to see a lot of consolidation amongst the equipment suppliers. So this was the exact slide that I think I shared with all of you 4 years ago when I was here with regards to our predictions for IBC 2013. And if you kind of look at all these 4 years ago, I think many of you thought maybe I was from another planet because we were introducing some things that just weren't possible. Wasn't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's going to be 10 years before we see any of these technologies implemented. And here we are 4 years later, and they're the themes of this show. They are the core themes. Now, there are applications like 4K and 8K that ride on top of these, but these are core, fundamental, architectural elements that are the new foundation for how equipment suppliers like ourselves, whether you're us or Avid or Harmonic, it doesn't matter. Whatever solutions and applications you're driving into the marketplace, they're going to ride on top of networks that are IP enabled, that are software defined, that are virtualized, and they support an over the top and linear model. So this is where our industry is, and I thought I would kind of maybe share with you where we think the industry is going. As I opened up my presentation here, I talked briefly about the fact that once you get to an IP-based network architecture, once you get to a software-defined network architecture, the possibilities for new applications become almost endless. It's what we're seeing from a lot of the service providers today, and that's what's going to happen in this industry, which is pretty exciting because you're going to see, I believe, in the next, let's call it 3 to 5 years, I think you're going to see more innovation coming from smaller companies who can focus on one particular area, taking advantage of this new network architecture that's no longer a black box that's proprietary to a particular company's technology. It's taking advantage of a common base network architecture that they can actually ride on top of. They can actually deliver common APIs. They can take advantage of all the work that's being done in standards like SMPTE 2022 and so forth. And you can see there was a chart like this that we had showed 3 years ago, and it had about a third of the dots on here. And the point that I wanted to really bring up is the new applications and the new services that our customers are going to have the ability to take advantage of once you get to an IP-based network architecture is significantly more than what it is today.